He's getting mad now.
Yes, it's a mess. It's a mess.
Please stop.
I didn't tell you when I touched you.
You want to see what yours is real quick?
Oh, I'd love to.
There's two things you need.
Special one, and then it'll flow right
Oh, I'm in here by myself.
Very much.
Thank you.
Hello, Chuck.
Hey, Steve, how are you?
We're about to experience something a little different.
Oh, we've got to be different.
All of us who are used to virtual meetings is starting to
Mary, you
become
got
a
a
way of
bottle of
life.
water around?
I do.
Okay.
How do you
Agenda. Meeting, if you want to see who's talking. It doesn't matter if you see or not.
So,
Because even if it goes, like, this way.
so if I just start talking, do I do that?
Right there's your mic if you want to turn it on and off.
Okay.
You can just leave it on there, your president, so you can always be able to. When they show pictures, like Glenn is going to show student of the month, and Brian's going to show student of the month, and then he's also going to do a presentation. Every time they stop that, the big square in the middle of the screen, it says hide stage. Just click that.
It says hide stage.
It'll say hide stage, and then just if you click hide stage, it'll take you back to the video feeds.
Whenever they get done. Okay. So Glenda's gonna be here? Glenda?
No, they're all gonna be on Skype.
And that's why when she shows the PowerPoint,
Okay, so she's gonna present.
when she stops it, and say hide stage in the middle, just click that. I'm gonna say, hey Dave, because I'm gonna be.
Oh, I think you're in here.
This is where Dave told me to go.
Did he?
That's what he told me.
Oh, that's right, Joe's in here. Okay. Okay.
Am I okay?
You're good. Have you been up to Strawberry?
We only just weekend
Did you? How was
for Easter. And it was about 45, 50. It rained a little bit on Saturday afternoon.
After this weekend, it's nice to warm it up a
Yeah.
little bit, so.
Yeah, we're gonna go up next weekend again. Yeah, it was all right. We just only go away.
I'm drinking too much. Honey, I told my sister and my sister-in-law I have to go into rehab after this is all said and done. Need a water or anything?
Okay.
So Chuck, are you not having your picture by design or?
I don't know what. I was just looking to see how come I'm not coming up on the screen. Dave doesn't want to show me.
I'll go help him.
Good afternoon. Chuck, you just need to share your video.
Huh?
Chuck,
Video.
at the bottom,
I got it.
picture camera.
I got it.
Okay.
I got a lot bigger. I mean,
You had something there.
there you are.
Well, there.
When we did that, my agenda went away.
Can I make it bigger?
Hey Chuck, are you in my office?
I don't know whose office I'm in.
He's in Stacy's office.
Oh, is he?
Oh, Jack's calling.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
When you came on, Mary, my agenda disappeared. I just have people now.
You need him? Dave, what are we doing with Jack?
Oh, he should just click on that link you sent him. Here, you want me to add him in? Is he signed in?
Okay, so take the one that,
Hang on.
I know, so you should only have, because I can't.
He's offline right
The
now.
mics are on,
Huh?
and then you
He needs to
hear
log into
the
Skype for
stack
business.
drop.
5:30, yeah. So go into that last one, that says special.
That's fine, but my agenda will.
Okay.
Do I have a little picture on everybody else's screen too?
The two arrows pointing away from
Yes, you do.
that picture.
That's kind of slighted. I feel less than everybody.
Tell me big on this side.
Well, on the viewer side, your picture is not little. Whoever's speaking will pop up as the biggest picture on the screen.
Oh, okay.
Is this too far?
We're straight.
Here, you want to help him? He's logging in right now.
Well, half of you have gone away now that I have my agenda back.
Right there.
Well, as long as you can hear us, that's all that really matters.
And I was very happy with the screen tilted back and all you could see was my forehead. It was good.
Dr. Davy, do you want those of us that are participating in the background to have our video off or on during this?
It can be either way. During the meeting, you can have both off and just be listening, and come on audio. It doesn't really matter. Just if everybody who's not speaking keeps their mic muted, then you know how it goes. It'll make life a lot easier for us while Nancy's running the meeting.
Sounds good. So I'm going to turn mine off while we're doing that then.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Brian, you and Linda really don't have to participate until 6:30. So you can hang out. You can
Still
not
shows
hang out
it's
if you
offline.
want.
Understood.
It
Sounds great.
shows
Thank
your
you.
Skype is offline.
My computer says we have one more minute. Is Joe here?
No, he's not.
I have not seen him.
I'll go take a look.
I'm not seeing who.
So, and is Jack on yet? I haven't looked.
It shows you as logged in. And you're logged into Skype for
No, he's
business.
there.
No.
Tina.
Not regular Skype.
We need at least one more board member to start this.
Right.
I think Jack is coming on from his home.
Yeah, it still shows you offline. Huh. Go ahead and accept it.
There's Nancy.
Oh,
There's Chuck.
Good.
There's Steve.
Your video's off.
There's Jack.
There he
Jack.
is. Outstanding.
I thought it was all easy. Okay, I'm
Look
hanging
at
up.
5:30, baby.
I'm
He's
dead
on?
on, right?
At 5:30.
Yep, you're on.
And what'd he say?
Yeah.
What'd he say?
I hear Mary. Is Joe out there in the hall?
Joe's not back there, right?
Well, right now it looks like we have 3 of the 4 of you. I don't know if Joe's here or not.
I'm gonna call him.
Is Joe here?
No, he's not. I'm gonna see if we can go ahead and get started on this part.
Okay.
All right, we got 3 of you.
We've got 3.
Joe
Okay.
just jumped on. Joe
I'll
just
need
jumped
an
on.
order.
I'm gonna grab a bottle of water real fast.
No, Steve, that's me. I just fired up for him.
I called the meeting to order. Roll call. Mary's out there running around, so.
Okay, well, let's wait for Mary to get back and we'll get started.
Sorry, man. I'm just getting a bottle of water. Go ahead.
All right, is Mary is back and ready. We can start.
He's not here, and I can't reach him.
It's your call whether you want to get started without him. He's not here yet, and I couldn't get him an answer on his phone.
Well, I would say let's get started with this meeting and hopefully he's here before the regular meeting.
So I called it to order, so now you have to do roll call.
Oh, okay, you did? All right. Mr. Hennis,
Here.
Mr. Wright,
Here.
and Mrs. Hawkins.
Here. Okay, number 2 is study session, board agenda review.
Okay, so good evening, governing board members. I just wanted to kind of go through the agenda for the second meeting that you might have before we go through our special meeting. Just as you know, something a little different, obviously, since we are virtual. that are the people that we're going to be honoring tonight are not going to be present, but we will honor them. We will make sure that they get their public recognition, and then we will also be including their photos and blurbs in the upcoming newsletter to honor everybody, and then we'll also get some stuff out on social media. So after we get into the student recognition, again, we will be recognizing virtually our Rotary Students of the Month and our CTE Students of the Month. We are not recognizing Employees of the Month this month, just because the inability for people to come together and that committee to work. We do have in section 4, after my superintendent's report, we do have Brian Mabb will be doing his PowerPoint presentation to you, similar to what Linda did in the March meeting. So you'll get a little update on everything going on at Grand Union, and we will be recognizing virtually their 3 Excellence Award winners. In section 5, matters reserved for board action, IBN recommendations. Those were my recommendations from the IBN meetings. I sent you all, last night I sent you the actual outcomes from the facilitator, which after the recommendations with insurance and benefits and salary, there were some recommendations for some future action that we might take. And so I wanted you to have all of that. Everything else, the health and welfare benefits, the processing services program agreement, transportation agreement. Again, just a reminder of the transportation. What we did find out from our attorney is that we are now only responsible for 50% of the remaining balance because they are not providing transportation in any way, shape, or form the remainder of the year, and they are an outside vendor. So that's the change to that addendum. We also have donations again, and even in these times, we always appreciate our donors. And then your typical informational reports. In the consent agenda, just wanted to let you know that we get into consent agenda, resignations, retirements, non-renewals, and terminations. We do have a retirement that has been rescinded, so that will be there. And then the additional extra duty appointments, let me just answer that question. There's a couple of people there in the additional. They were performing those coaching duties and were being responsible to it. However, we inadvertently left them there. We took to you before spring sports started. So we just need them approved so that they, because they were performing the things, and so that's our fault that they were inadvertently left off, and I apologize for that. And then with that, I think the warrants, vouchers, student activities, and operations. There's not a lot going on. So, is there any specific questions, anything on the upcoming agenda that I might answer for you before we start?
Sure, walk me through a little bit on the IBN, specifically about insurance, where we had multiple bids.
Yes.
And there wasn't really delineated in there about, looked like some of them might have been higher than the ones that we chose, and I just want to understand what the reasoning was.
Absolutely.
Why we settled on that.
Sure. So this year, and Mary Ann's on here. So Mary Ann, if I miss something here, jump on and correct me. This year, unlike other years, we actually had 3 different options that we had potentially available to us. And again, what we're looking at is, first of all, as a district, our continued benefit of paying for our employees' insurance. Second of all, we were looking at really what is the best insurance, your best bang for your buck, at least as far as the quality of insurance and the benefits to our employees. Every option that was there on the table was going to cost the district more money. That was a given. We were going to have to pay more money this year for insurance. What it came down to on both the classified and certified evaluations is staying with our own current insurance is the benefit to that, to our employees with Teledoc and some of the other benefits that are there. It's just overall a better plan, and we'll do a better job of taking care of our employees. So they chose to stay with the current insurance provider because the overall benefits are better for our employees.
think that's great. I would have liked to have seen a breakout dollars just to see how it broke out, so that we could just see kind of side by side. I think back in the past we used to look at those, and we could look at them and see how the linear, each of them broke out side by side, and dollars, et cetera, and how they, how the programs weighed out.
Okay, and we did present all of that to, obviously, we can certainly, Member Henderson, we can certainly provide a copy of that to the governing board. If you'd like to see it, we can certainly do that.
Yeah, you had the bids, so I mean,
Yes,
that was the question that I had was in particular about that one.
Sure, but I'm happy, I can, while we're Mary Ann, we can certainly make sure, you guys get that.
Okay.
I had, unfortunately, and I was all over the agenda today, but I did not see the email that you sent out last night from the IBM.
Okay.
So that's my mistake. But one of the things, I mean, we did, and I talked to you about it before, and I am concerned over with what is happening currently in our economy with everybody getting raises, and I understand, a month ago we have the money now. We do have the money, and I appreciate the effort and everything you put in because you've saved our district money also. So we're in good shape right now, but I am concerned down the road because I personally know people that are going to end up probably losing their businesses here pretty shortly if something doesn't change real fast. And I know that, I mean, when we talk about the state and everything, I know they're forecasting about a $1.1 billion shortfall next year. And we're talking about, 45 cents of everybody's dollar is what goes to education, state, local, and those people are out of jobs and not working. It's just going to be a bad effect next year and down the road, I think. Yeah. So I think, even though we're good this year, I think we really are going to have to watch in the future because nobody knows where this is going to go.
Well, absolutely, and I think this, President Hawkins, you and I had this conversation. I think the one thing that we need to consider, I mean, all of this, I don't think there's anybody in our community, I don't think there's anybody in America who isn't, in some way impacted by this, the economy being shut down and things that are going on. And I think the way we need to look at things is, there are a lot of school districts who had this meeting in March, and so they had already done this business before schools were shut down, and things were going on. I think also to keep in mind what I have on the agenda for tonight as far as the salary increase for our certified staff. That's our obligation. That we have to fulfill the 20 by 20 for our teachers, and so that 3% is going to fulfill that. Where there was some conversation in IBN, and that we talked about the year prior to my starting as your superintendent, there was some decisions made, and there were some steps given to a lot of different certified people on the schedule, and the steps were given anywhere from 1 step to 4 steps, all and randomly depending on the person, how long they've been in the district, and a lot of that money came out of carry forward. What we finally landed on is that that money was a decision being made by the district and was made outside of considerations that before Governor Ducey had done his 20 by 20, and so we did not include any of those steps in our 20%. You know what I mean? So the raises the teachers are getting, if they got those steps, that was not calculated into the 20 by 20. And so that was some of the debate that we talked about in IBN. I even met with some teachers to try to get my understanding of if that money should have been or should not have been. And the overall outcome was it should not have been. And it was, carried forward and given to people based on how, length of service and how many years they've been frozen and not gotten raises in the past. But I agree with you. With all of our employee groups, I don't think it's hard for any of us to think that our employees need to be taken care of, and especially in a time where we're able to save a little money here at the end of the year. But it is going to be a scary day next year. None of us know. Will we be able to give raises next year? I don't know. I don't know what we're going to be able to do. So, this may be the last time for a while, though we're in this mode. to be able to be here.
So just clarify, your funding for next year for the salaries be coming from future tax monies?
It's, well, the
Everything's from tax money.
well, everything's from tax.
I mean,
money.
everything comes from tax monies, but I mean, potentially, Ducey's already talked about there's gonna be a huge hole this coming year.
But what, Jack, what he's
His
guaranteed.
history with education is not the best, if it
Right.
comes to saving other places. That's
Right, and so what we've been told is that the money that has been promised, the additional 5% for us to give our certified staff raises this year is guaranteed money and sustainable money that we can count on. And so I've talked with other superintendents across Benham County and in the state, and everybody is moving forward with giving their, fulfilling that obligation of the 20x20 for certified staff. If something changes down the road, then we're all gonna be in that same boat together. So, but right now, we've been told that we can count on that money. So, and like you said, last year, we gave 2 steps to certified staff, and that because we needed to get closer to that 20x20. This year, it's just a 1 step, which is equivalent to a 3% increase. So,
You mentioned some other things in IBM. There were future options or something like that you mentioned.
yes.
Down on the block.
Yeah, let me just quickly I'll just pull up the email I sent all of you, and I can talk through that, very easily. Okay, so,
And Joe just joined.
oh, hi, Joe.
I can't see anybody.
Okay. So basically, what came from IBN, if you look at extra duty, one of the things they want, some options that came from our staff that we might want to consider down the road. Nothing that we were looking at as far as salary and benefits, but just operations of the district. There were some options were looked at committee with diverse representation and stakeholders. ID policy and procedures that are clearly communicated. A lot of that, again, I think those are safety issues. Our requirement is that everybody has their ID on at all times when they're working for us. But just to talk, I think there was some clarification. They want ID where the budget resides. There's a lot of conversation, and not just in our district. I've been in several districts in this, but there's a lot of conversation in that somehow employees within the IBN process feel like they have the authority to dictate the school budget, M&O, where money is coming from, operational type options. And so that we've had some conversation about that, and I think there's been some distrust in the past because before the decision was made 2 years ago with the raises and the steps, there was quite a bit of money that had been put away and cared for by the former superintendent, and no real identification as to how much and why, or no real disclosure, and so that's caused definitely some distrust on the staff, and so we've really tried to do a good job this year of identifying funding sources and where they are coming from, but also making sure that people understand that what is an actual working condition and what is not, and what we're really there on the IBN table to discuss. There were targeted recommendations for May and June board meetings to let committees determine timelines. We were looking at, we've had conversations of moving to a flat salary schedule. Do we put the effort into that? One of the things that came up was researching extra duty schedules from other districts, or looking at those pay scales for coaches and sponsors and things like that. My understanding, as I've talked to, that it hasn't been too long ago that we have done that, and that if you look at our salaries, we're pretty much in line with most of our neighboring districts. But again, there was some interest in maybe having some future conversation about that. And then,
I guess when you have future conversation, I apologize. I guess when you have future conversation about that, I guess we need to be very clear and clarify what the expectations are, what the job description is with that also associated with that.
Yes, and so we have to go through everything, but again, and then I think the biggest thing is the time and effort. All of us who've ever coached, and have ever done anything and sponsored, you put a lot more time in than the compensation you're getting on an hourly rate. You know what I mean? And that's given with the territory. So again, we're just wanting to be fair and equitable with our committees. One of the biggest things that has come up more times than not.
Dr. Beebe, can I interrupt real quick? We need to add Mr. Lopez in for the record.
Oh, okay.
So at 5:45, Mr. Lopez is entered the meeting. Okay. I just wanted to. Mr. Lopez, are you here?
He has to unmute, and he will be here.
I am here.
There
Okay,
he
there
is.
you go. Okay,
Let's
thank
know
you.
for the record. Let's know for the record that's 5:40.
5:40. Okay.
Thank you, Joe. Anyway, one of the other conversations we had is horizontal advancement, and we've talked in detail about that. And I know I've come to you as a board with this before. And right now, horizontal advancement, and others who qualify for horizontal advancement in our district as a teacher, or you have to be taking a graduate level course. This is part of a graduate level program to receive credit. There were some decisions in this district well before my time where that was not the case, and people were able to advance on minimum classes, 100 level classes. And there are people in our district currently who have advanced their salaries not taking graduate level coursework. And so that's a conversation that had changed prior to my getting here. I've had many a conversation with several superintendents in the state, and we are in line with our horizontal advancement with requiring graduate level coursework that's in track for horizontal advancement. If we're going to pay additional money, then the courses you need to take need to be leading somewhere towards some things. So that's some conversation that has met with some angst over several years, even before I'm getting here. But I let the group know right ahead of time that I wasn't willing to change that moving into this year. And if we want to have some conversation in the future, that's a conversation we could. But unless you guys, the board feels differently, that's pretty much in line with what everybody in the state is doing with horizontal advancement. The other thing that came out was class size. We get a lot of conversation about class size and classes being too large. I've sent you guys numerous documents this year, but if you look at the last report from the state, I think that they do an actual pupil, a number of pupils in our district by number of teachers in our district, and they do that ratio. And when you do that ratio in the Cascade Union High School District, you're at about 28 to 1. Most high school class sizes, you're looking at 34, 35, sometimes 36. Obviously, we know smaller class sizes are desired. And there are teachers in our district this year who have large class sizes. But a lot of that is all dictated by the creation of the master schedule and the talents and abilities of those who are creating the schedule. You can build a master schedule that is very equitable, and you try to, but then sometimes, and even in my former district and in my former life as a principal, there are times you may have 38 kids in a classroom because they're in an AP class, or they're in this or they're that, and rather than try to split out and have two small sections of 14, 15 kids, you have one larger section and for the training. But I can say that our class sizes, as far as the teachers, number of teachers by the number of sections they need to teach and the number of students we have in our district, we are in a line, and we are not overly large in our class size. Some of our class sizes, again, like I said, are a little bit large, and I'm hoping that we can work through that as we build the master schedule next year.
Expect any potential changes? Listening to the governor of California speak today at lunchtime, he's going to start recommending different of them as they roll back in.
Yeah.
Restaurants, a whole different situation of how restaurants are going to be set up, and potentially really didn't mention about school, but it was based on trying to space people further apart. To then filter its way back down to schools.
And remember, Henderson, it may, but here's the thing that we're going to be up against. Look at a typical classroom on any of our campuses that are designed, for 35, 36 kids. If you're going to limit kids to how many kids you let in that room, and you're going to have teachers on a 6-period day, we would all be asked to add so many teachers to our staff, it would be next to impossible to staff unless we start doing double sessions or things like that. So it's going to be really interesting to see, and we are all waiting very anxiously to see what our lives may look like. I think all of us would like to see come August that we can go back to business as usual, but I don't know that that's the safe reality right now. So there's going to be a lot of things we're going to have to roll as they roll out, and as things are dictated, we're going to have to react and roll and do that. And I'm hoping that some of those decisions start being made, because every district across the country right now is building their master schedules for next year based on current budgets and current funding. And if we build our master schedules and we get everything set, we get an approved budget, and then they change the rules, all of us are going to have a little bit of struggle to figure out how to make that work. So there's going to be a lot of unknown as we move through.
Yeah, just clarify for me one more time. I want to understand 100% what this means.
Okay.
I need where the budget resides.
Okay, so
that we are, the administration is responsible, and the board is responsible for setting a budget and creating a budget. Correct? And that budget does not get chopped out and farmed all over the place. Other than that, folks have a chance for input, etc. But the budget is the budget, and that's our fiduciary duty as a board.
Yes, correct. And we do that, and we have done that. And we did give an overview. Gina comes to every meeting. She gives an overview of our general budget, where we are, what we haven't carried for, what is coming down, what came out of this. And there's at least some people who wanted to see they wanted to know every dime that came into the district and what it's being used for. How much are we getting from Brewer? What are we using that money for? What are we doing for this? What are we using that money for? So that was like, they wanted like a just full disclosure on every cent that the district is spending and on what. And, some of those budgets are not, none of that budget is really open to IBN discussion. It's alterations of the district, and it's something that I work through with you as a governing board on what we're spending our money and how we're spending our money, and doing what we're doing. So there was a lot of push to be really even more microscopic with our budget and what we're spending, every dime we're spending on.
I can only tell you that's been going on for a long time.
Right. And again, I think it's a misnomer that people who are in the IBM process feel like they have the power to dictate operations of the district when they do not. That is not the whole purpose of IBN is to talk about working conditions, and the M&O budget, our carry forward, all the budget that goes on. It's nothing that we discuss, but there's still those people who want that information, and they feel like somebody's hiding money from them. And I've been as transparent as I possibly could with you as a board, and with this, I bring things to you about spending that I don't need to bring to you, just to be fully transparent. So
just to be clear, the document that you sent out last night with the additional IBM features that you talked about, those were just discussion items. None of those have been approved by the IBM committee for this coming year.
Correct. Well, so the agreement, Chuck, was just like last year. What I told the committees and what I told you as a board, we go through the IBM process. They can make all the recommendations they would like. They bring them to me, and then from their recommendations, I have now brought you my recommendations from what I have been recommending. Some of these things I'm not going to ignore. I think that we can have some conversation and we can look at some things moving forward, but nothing else beyond what I have on the agenda tonight am I asking the governing board to approve based on the IBM process.
So are you going to bring us any more of these recommendations at our next meeting?
No. These all the other options would be work that we would need to go through, and committees that we need to form moving into next year's budget and next year's IBM process. So it would take us some time to decide whether we go anywhere. So these are just future recommendations. That's something that we may or may not act on, but we might look into further. So
all of these items are now off the table as far as this year.
Right. The only thing that is on the table for this year is what I brought to you, and that's the 2 bullets under classified recommendations, the bullet bullets under certified recommendations, and then the additional bullets for the administrative staff.
Okay.
So that's it. And I am not bringing anything back to you for this next school year, but we may work on some of these things, and I certainly will have some discussion. And then the last thing that came out from the facilitator, I think something that is difficult here, and I think I've had a way through it. I've had principals and directors who sat in the certified and classified IBN process. But they are a part of cabinet, they're a part of the leadership team. They sat there for the purpose of representing the employee groups that they were with. However, the employee groups that they were with don't see them that way, and don't see them that way, and really kind of left them in isolation. So moving into next year, I'm still going to have principals on the IBN team. I'm going to have directors on the IBN team, but they will represent administration, and they will be my spokespeople. They will be the liaison between the group and myself, so that we can communicate back and forth. So they can bring things to me, I can take it back to them, they can communicate it back to the group. So we're going to find a more clearly defined role for them, and so they're really truly representing the administration, because in our district and in most districts, we don't have an IBN process for administrators. Administrators generally get benefits and raises based on the other two employee populations and what you do with them. So that's something that came out of that, and I'm already working towards a better process for next year.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Just to clarify, once you recommendation and the board accepts it, it goes back to the teachers?
Well, once you accept it, then we let them know that it has been accepted and approved, and that they can count on it moving forward. And so, like for instance, tonight with the salaries and insurance, that'll be a public record. With your approval, it would be public, and we will let them know what has been approved. They know exactly what I have brought to you. I've been in full disclosure. They know. I talked with Mike Wagner. I've talked with Francis Pittman. They know exactly what I brought forward tonight and what I did not. So.
And everybody is basically along with that?
Well, I mean, there's some other things they would like us to consider, but they also know we don't have the time to consider them in this budget cycle to get moved ready for next year. These are things that we'll have to discuss for the future. So.
Okay, Steve, the salary schedule that you have listed tonight.
Yes.
And I think I mentioned it in my earlier email.
Yes.
And the question I asked, are these salary schedules different than the ones we approved a couple months ago or last month?
Yeah, so when we issued our contracts, because we issued them in March before the current budget is approved, we issue them based on the current salary schedule.
Okay.
So the salary schedule you saw 2 months ago was the current salary schedule.
Okay.
This salary schedule that is on the board agenda tonight has been revised. Right, and only certified has changed. Classified is still the same. Classified is still the same, other than the recommendation we're making tonight that will go to their salary schedule. Only the classified salary schedule has changed.
Okay.
And on that classified salary schedule, there were some issues. Certified, I'm sorry, not classified. The certified salary schedule, there were some issues with the current salary schedule, and as we're looking at raises and compensation as you move along, and if you move over and move down as you follow those charts, the cells were out of alignment. And so if you were later in the game, like say you were an MA plus, plus 24, when you move down, the significance of money you made moving down in a cell was not the same as somebody in their first 10 years. Somebody in their first 10 years was getting a larger increase to move on the scale than somebody down the road. So that salary schedule has been revised to balance the cells so that across the board, as you move vertically and horizontally, you go across, they all are in alignment. So we're compensating our certified staff across the board equally. So that's just a revised salary schedule that makes that work. And with that salary schedule, I was able to make the recommendation for a 3% increase based on that salary schedule, because that's what that accomplishes.
Okay. I was just hoping on that salary schedule, I was hoping to see possibly a yellow highlighted area where they had actually increased.
Almost every cell has increased. And again, I could certainly send you a copy. You can print a copy of the existing one and compare that. but most of the cells have changed to make that flow. So.
Okay.
So Dr. Beebe, are you
Yes.
comfortable with our budget? I mean, the way it is right now, is with the raises and everything, do you feel, like, what kind of a carry forward do we have to go with? And I know the last time, that one time when you first came in and we had approved a budget
Yeah.
and we had enough money, but then we didn't.
Well, and President,
That wasn't you.
Well, my concern there was the steps that everybody was given, and the money was taken directly from carry forward, and there was no plan for sustainability.
Right.
By making the changes we did to Desert Winds and removing some administrative positions, eliminating all of the transportation, the food services, all the building stuff that we're here, that move and moving those kids back to their sites, not only is it the best for them, and I truly believe in my whole heart that's the best decision for them and where they belong, but it's also saved us enough money to sustain that decision. So that decision's been kind of washed clean, and we're moving forward and we're sustained. These raises, I would not be bringing them to you if I didn't feel like we can sustain them. And so, but again, I'm concerned, as all of you I'm sure are. I don't know what next year, I don't know what 2021 looks like. I don't know. None of us know until we see what happens with this economy, when we will be in this place again. And there is nothing from the governor, saying that we have to give certified teachers any additional money beyond this year. We have to demonstrate we've met the 20 by 20, and beyond that, there is nothing yet in legislation that we would have to do anything. So I am comfortable with both the insurance and the raises recommendation that we can sustain that. Our budget, our carry forward is healthy. It's still, we spent some things, we've done some things. I will be bringing recommendations to you in the May meeting for recommendations, financial recommendations I might have moving forward into next year. And I can tell you that will be much less than anything I did this year. I still think we have to address the painting at Vista. And I do really feel like we have to address the safety issues here at the district office. There is no safety corridor. There is no. It's not the way it needs to be, and we've really shored up the safety at the school campuses, but I think we need to do that here as well. And so I'll be bringing you some information with that and down the road for May. But I will be very limited in what I will recommend financially with all of the unknowns that we're going to have. Any other questions on the agenda for tonight?
Is it on school closure information then?
Yeah, so if you want to, I was hoping to have a few minutes just to kind of give you a rundown of everything we've done since the beginning of spring break. So, just so you know, as you all know, we try to have a little foresight. So going into spring break, I did ask that all the administration, the directors, and all teachers take their devices home with them because we didn't know what we were to expect, and I was glad that I did because the majority of people did that. We did have some people, unfortunately, who did not, and we had to get back in. And then as things started to roll out with the Board of Education and went from some of those guidelines, and we started to learn on what was going to be expected of us. I will say that we as a district, I'm very proud of what we've done so far, and we've had a lot of people work really hard to get us off the ground and to truly be delivering instruction virtually now. It's taken a lot of effort by a lot of people from leadership to the curriculum cadre to department leaders. We've had to do a lot of work to really get education rolled out, but we have officially, today would have been day 8 of rolling out education. The week of the 30th we were supposed to have started, but us, like many districts, we needed a couple of days to train our teachers and to get everybody up to speed before we could start delivering it. So the week after spring break, most of that week was spent starting to develop curriculum and start making decisions about curriculum and education and what we were going to deliver. When we came back from spring break, that first week in April, we started to train our teachers. We did a lot of virtual training. And then by a week ago, or last Thursday, or about 8 days ago, we started actually delivering instruction. And so I have been, virtual meetings have been a part of all of our lives. I am in virtual meetings daily. And it has been pretty cool to watch Brian and Glenda run faculty meetings of 90 plus people on a virtual meeting at one time. It's kind of cool to be a part of that. And so we're meeting regularly. We're doing that. Right now, we're in the process of really trying to collect data. I know there's been some questions asked, and I too want to know what students are we not able to reach yet. And so teachers are compiling lists. By this Friday, I have required that all teachers turn in a list to their principals of any student they have not contacted in the first 10 days of this virtual delivery. Once we have that list, then we will start to strategize. We're going to have people coming in making phone calls. We're going to exhaust every effort to connect with every student we possibly can in our district, because we need to make sure that we're doing all we can to help kids be successful. So we're going to continue to do that. But we've got a lot of things going on. Our administrative teams are meeting regularly. Our schools are meeting regularly in virtual meetings. I'm meeting with Glenda and Brian weekly. I'm having cabinet meetings weekly. And now I'm also participating in some of my community meetings weekly. I was in another Rotary meeting today. We've had Kiwanis meetings, virtually. So we will continue to do that. Our goal is to reach every student and to have every student be successful. Another thing that we've done since the school closure is for our kids who were taking Edgenuity classes, and were the kids that were in our labs that were drastically behind, even before we were delivering instruction online, we had opened up those classes to where kids could take tests and quizzes at home, so we were not hindering their ability to move through the course. And I'm happy to say that we have kids, as of today, we have students who are now caught back up and on track with their cohorts to graduate. So it's been a good thing to get some kids moving along. Now, what we've chosen to do, once kids are in that virtual environment and they're completely caught back up with their cohort, we're not going to extend classes and have them push beyond, because we would rather, we want to give them that quality instruction again moving forward, because there's no doubt the ability for us to deliver instruction online in this short a notice with some time and some practice, we can be pretty darn good. And trust me, online education is taken on a whole new world. Half of my doctoral program was done online in a virtual environment. People are taking master's classes online and they're doing it. So we can do it. It's just that we're doing it in a very short amount of time and getting people on. So we want to get people caught back up. I've also sent out the grading stuff to you guys, and so there was some conversation about grading, and so we've sent the FAQs out, we've sent the documentation out. Parents and our teaching staff are receiving that same school closure that I sent you guys that's on the letterhead. But basically, we're using Q3 as our benchmark. And that can be the final grade, since that was the last time we actually had in-person education with our kids. What we're doing is we're working from the third quarter. And students who were on track and passing at the third quarter, they can do these virtual classes through everything we're doing, and they can improve their grade. And or they can get some enrichment. Students who were not passing are going to be able to use this coursework to bring themselves up to passing and get themselves done. So we want people to improve. Students can improve their grade by doing the online education that we are providing. And that is our goal, is to reach everybody and to have everybody participating, and so we can improve grades. So we're working through that, and our goal is, we want every senior to graduate, and we want to get kids caught back up. So that's been going on. And so it's been a lot of work is going on. We'll know a little bit more by Friday. I will share, if I have it on Friday with my report, I'll share it. If not, I'll share it the first part of next week. I'll give you guys a real good number of about what percentage of kids we have not been able to touch base with, because I know that's a big concern, and a lot of people are wondering, including myself, where we are.
Now,
Go ahead.
the district provides digital computers, or laptops, etc., when they're at school and then at home also. And then when you're working on, I think we've seen it next to the high school where they're putting up, where they're doing the work next to the football stadium. That's so you have better and increased hotspots, etc., around the county.
Well, what we have, so I know a couple of things. The mayor and Larry Raines have an initiative right now. They're really working on the city of Casa Grande and our whole community, and they're working hard to try to identify places where cell service is limited, and so they're trying to identify that. We have just so short of 100 hotspots, and so we have students who have checked out hotspots who don't have strong internet at home, so they can use those hotspots. The other thing that we're going to start advertising, I think, for next week, and I apologize, the principals are here, they'll be on the meeting next, but we're going to advertise what we do know is that anybody can come to any of our school parking lots and the district office parking lot, sit in your vehicle, and get on the internet. And so we're going to kind of do some drive-in and start advertising and allowing people who may not have, you're not going to want to sit in your car all day, but you can come sit here for an hour, hour and a half and do some work and get it on the internet. So we're trying to make that, we're going to explore that a little bit next week to try to open that up to people who don't have internet, just giving some options of where they might go to be able to get on the internet. And so again, when we have the list of kids we don't connect with, then we'll be able to take that further and figure out why we haven't connected. Is it because they're choosing not to connect with us? Is it because they don't even know we're reaching out to them? Is it because they don't have internet? What are the issues that cause them to not connect? So as we can identify those things, then we will start addressing every one of them.
So a kid who has an A in the third quarter,
yes,
could basically take the rest of the year off?
They, in a sense, yes, but we're not. We want them to continue to work. We have to provide education, and we need them to demonstrate. But again, the goal is not to hurt kids, but to try to help kids and help kids to do some learning. I can say that we have kids, from my understanding, we have kids that are getting A's that are doing the work, and taking advantage. Some of our AP courses, our teachers have actually been in virtual classrooms with an entire class and had conversation and taught as if you would in the classroom. So our kids are starting to take advantage of it, and I know their parents are reaching out to us. So this next few days, we'll have a pretty good idea of where we are, and then we can start addressing those issues and try to attack the places where we're having some struggles.
Yeah, I've got a nephew of mine who goes to South Point, and he's required essentially every other day that they essentially have a Google chat room where they have to be in a physically virtually in a class,
right?
Kind of to check in, etc. is one thing that he's having to do down there. The rest of the time he's got about 3 hours or 4 hours, maybe a day of work that he has to do, but only one every other day where he really has to kind of actually check in and present a body.
Right, and so that's what we're doing with our teachers. We're asking our teachers to check in. They're having conversation, and again, all teachers that have to be available between the hours of 8 and 3 every day, and answering emails and connecting. And so again, some of the lessons that are going out and some of the things we're doing, I've been really pleased with the work that's been done and the effort that people have taken on. So,
what are the classes, the CTE type classes? How are we handling those?
Well, again, with those where there's a lot of hands-on and that you can't do the hands-on, a lot of it is coming up with just activities that can be done. You rather than be able to touch things, you can talk through it. You can talk through things conceptually. You can get into some of those things. We're trying to, just like our CAC in Cabot are still functioning and doing online education with students every day. And again, it's just giving them virtual, more of a virtual environment, more of a conceptual thing versus hands-on touching things.
Dr. Beebe.
And Steve Sipes is right there, so he's just came on. He can answer that a little better. Go ahead, Steve.
Hi, Chuck.
Yep.
Yeah,
you know, there's a lot of things that we can do in CTE, you know, that don't necessarily require the kids to be in the lab. As you know, 3 or 4 years ago, the push was to move CTE towards all certifications. And so we have kids right now, even in the auto program, that are still able to test for their ASAE certifications, even though they're not in class. And so the teachers are, you know, giving remediation assignments and things like that in the most part relate a lot of times to the industry certification. So you know, it's not a loss. It's not what we'd like it to be, but the teachers are still able to give those kids some quality instruction, and they're able to move forward with that. So George actually and Mike Wagner and a couple others have emailed me recently, and that the kids are still moving forward with the certification testing, even though that they're not in the classroom. So I think that's a win-win for all of us.
Do you have an idea of the participation rate in those classes?
You know, Chuck, I couldn't tell you. Like Dr. Beebe said earlier, he was hoping that by Friday that you know, we would have some numbers from all of the teachers. I know that I've gotten mixed reports from the CTE teachers. Some of them are saying that, you know, they've got upwards of 70%, and others are saying that they've only got, you know, 45 or 50%. So, you know, I really hope that it's more than that, but you know, at this point, there's really not any way to know that.
Yep. Okay.
And like I said, I'll have those numbers by the end of the week. We just knew we needed to give some people some time to really make every effort to reach out to kids before we just could determine we can't connect. So, anyhow. And then just one last thing, and I'm looking at the time. I'm sure you guys all might want a couple of minute break before the other meeting. So, just one last thing then is graduation. That's the big thing that's on everybody's minds. Seniors are wondering, what are we doing? How are we doing it? And I can tell you that I hope to have a decision, a solid decision, and be able to report out what we're going to do by the end of this week. I have I have a meeting tomorrow with both school administrations, and I'll just tell you right now, what we're seriously considering is doing a virtual graduation. And when you first think about it, you're never going to do the same thing as having kids in the stands and the stadium packed and all that. But conceptually, as I'm starting to learn more about what can be done and some of the things you can do, the biggest thing is that, number one, our seniors need to have some knowns as to when they will and if they will have a graduation or not. And secondly, we want to make sure we have a chance to honor our kids somehow, some way this year. So I'm working with the leadership teams, and once we have some solid decisions, I will be communicating that directly with you. But right now we're looking at kind of moving into the virtual element. And I didn't really even, you know, I don't even know what's about it, but all I've known is I've seen some things done in a virtual environment that are pretty cool. And so I will let you all know as soon as we've made some solid decisions. So I think that's it. That's the update.
That's great. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yep.
Move to adjourn?
Adjourn.
Second.
All right, we've got about 10 minutes till the other meeting.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks.
Um, Yeah, and you want this one back? Okay.
6:29, and we're about to be live.
Okay, I think we're ready, Nancy.
It is Mary. Okay. Call the meeting to order. If you will join me in the pledge. Dave set up for me to turn my computer around towards the flag.
Wait, we need to do roll call first.
Okay, we'll do roll call. I always skip that.
It's okay. Mr. Lopez,
Here.
Mr. Wright,
I'm here.
Mr. Hennis,
Here.
and Ms. Hawkins.
Here. Okay, now can you see the flag, anybody?
Yes.
Okay, so if you will join me for the Pledge of Allegiance and remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which
it stands, one nation,
under God, indivisible,
with liberty and justice for all.
Be seated. Okay. Item 2A, move to recommend to adopt the agenda of April 14th as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Hennis,
Yes.
Ms. Hawkins.
Yes. Item 2B, minutes from prior meetings, recommend to move to approve the minutes from March 3rd and 19th as presented.
So moved.
Well, second.
Discussion?
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Hennis,
Yes.
and Ms. Hawkins.
Yes. Okay. Recognition, Student of the Month recognitions. Principal Mab presenting both.
Principal Mab is presenting, and Principal Cole are presenting their Rotary Students of the Month, and Steve
okay.
Sykes will present our CTE Students of the Month.
Okay.
Madam Chair, this is Brian Mabb. If I could go last so I could roll right into the Casa Grande Union presentation, that way I could do both simultaneously. Is that allowed?
It's fine by me.
All right.
I'll be happy to go first.
Okay.
President Hawkins, and then Glenda could do her rotaries, and then Brian could do his, and then move into his presentation, if that's all right.
That's fine.
Thank you. All right, President Hawkins, Dr. Beebe, and honorable board members. Let me start my video, I'm sorry. Can you see me now?
We can see you now.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. President Hawkins, Dr. Beebe, and honorable board members. This month we will recognize 2 Students of the Month for the Career and Technical Education Student of the Month program. One from each of our marketing programs at Casa Grande Union and Vista Grande High School. Our first recipient is Natalia Hernandez from Vista Grande High School. Natalia was nominated by our marketing teacher, Miss Lisa Miller, who stated, Natalia is a second-year marketing student who has served as the DECA treasurer this year and has consistently gone above and beyond whenever the need arises. Her positive attitude, even in times of struggle, have influenced both her own classmates and the students who are soon to be Spartans. She spent many hours advocating for the marketing program with junior high visits during the third quarter. She attended Fall Leadership Conference, the DECA Power Trip in Washington, D.C., and the State Career Development Conference in Phoenix this year. She has remained determined to compete, has provided hands-on help with the internship in the DECA store, and served as a strong leader during DECA trips. Natalia's mother is Maribel Navarro. Natalia, congratulations, and I hope you're watching right now. I emailed you the link earlier today. Next is Valeria Reese from Casa Grande Union High School. Valeria was nominated by her marketing teacher, Mr. David Carter, who stated Valeria is in her third year of the Marketing DECA program at CGUHS. She is a senior in the marketing internship class. Valeria is a DECA store supervisor and manages the store in all aspects. She is very consistent in pre-opening preparations, training, and supervising employees, financial procedures to daily closing duties. She has great work ethic and will be very successful in any career she pursues. She is very active in DECA, having attended many conferences on the state and national levels. Valeria's parents are Jesus and Damicia Reese. Congratulations, Valeria. And again, I hope you're watching this evening as well. Plaques will be mailed out to both of the students tomorrow morning. Thank you.
Congratulations to both of them.
Congratulations.
That's awesome. Express our that's an awesome accomplishment. Thank you very much, those kids.
Thank you.
So, Principal Cole.
Good evening, Madam President and members of the board. If you will bear with me for just a minute, I'm loading a PowerPoint. Hopefully it won't take too long. And while we're waiting for it to come up, I'm sure that Dr. Beebe has already said something, but I just wanted to reiterate what was probably said in your earlier meeting about the great job that has been done by the people who are making sure that our curriculum is good. And our teachers are on a committee with Melanie Edwards, Chantel Frazee, and Alistair Mounts, and the hours that they have put in have been absolutely amazing and incredible. And I can't believe that probably about a year and a half's work has been done in about 15 minutes, in about a couple of weeks. And Dave Griffiths and his group have been super people, Superman, all the superheroes in what they have done, going from 0 to about 2010 in no time at all. So now I see the PowerPoint's up, so I just wanted to thank them and the numerous people behind the scenes that have been working so hard. My student of the month is Brenna McQuillan, and she is the daughter of Stacy and Richie McQuillan. And she is watching, I believe, also on YouTube. And so welcome Brenna and Mom and Dad. Brenna's accomplishments are many. She is our track and field captain, and even though this year they haven't gotten to do much, she has had quite a career in track and field since she's been here. She's also our cross-country captain, so she's a year-round runner. She is a founding member and founding co-president of our Student Athletic Advisory Committee. She also which helped host a peanut butter drive and collected over 600 jars. She finished fourth place at the 218 and 219 cross-country state championships, was the 1600 meter runner-up at the 2019 track state championships, and fourth place finisher in the track state championships in the 3200 meter and the 800 meter in 2019. Brenna's personal activities and accomplishments are that she was the 2019 May Fox Sports Arizona Student Athlete of the Month. She's volunteered at Casa Grande Banner Medical Center for 3 years and completed over 300 hours of community service. She is also our 2018 All-State Academic Track Team member and a member of the 2019 All-American Cross Country Team. And I promise you, had she been able to compete in the 2020, she would have been up there again. She is truly amazing. Her life and career goals, she wants to attend Kansas State University and major in psychology, possibly become a sports psychologist, combining her two loves, and run cross-country and indoor-outdoor track at Kansas State. Ladies and gentlemen, members of the board, I give you Brenna McQuillan, May's Rotary Student of the Month.
Great job. Congratulations.
Amazing.
And I can say, having had a chance, she is one heck of a runner. So she will run beyond high school for sure.
She's gonna find a little different temperature in K-State.
Yeah. Hope we find so hot.
That's why you ran the indoor track.
So are we ready now for Principal Map?
Yes, and President Hawkins, I can, if we want to switch the order, I can do my superintendent's report after Principal Map's presentation.
Okay.
Well, good evening, Madam Chair, governing board members, and Superintendent Dr. Beebe. It's a pleasure to be here. I know it's kind of odd circumstances that brings us through a virtual meeting, and my echoes would go out with what Principal Cole had said, with all the thank yous. This transition would be impossible without just some amazing staff. They've been working hard to contact students and reach out to see how they're doing academically. Our PLC and committee work continues. She mentioned all of the hard work that Melanie Edwards and that team has done. Our department chairs are just amazing, have shown some great leadership. And a huge shout out to multiple departments, IT, food service, and our custodial maintenance. And then, of course, we're just very grateful for everybody else keeping the city running, especially our healthcare providers and first responders out there. We have some amazing people we'd like to recognize specifically. Our first one is our Rotary Student of the Month, and that goes out to Adriana Gonzalez Chavez. Her parent is Elizabeth Chavez. She's just a fabulous young lady. Her smile says it all. She's very welcoming, very enthusiastic, and just a pleasure to be around. She just lightens your day whenever she comes in contact with somebody. She's participated in sports throughout her high school career, is currently in varsity sports and cross country, as well as track, and in each of those has held a variety of leadership positions. She maintains high academics, certainly understands what a scholar athlete means. She's in NHS and is consistently on the honor roll. She is currently attending Cabot and is working as a dental assistant in their program. As part of that, she's also part of the National Technical Honor Society. She is a member of Key Club with over 150 hours of service. She continues to work and maintains both academics and her extracurricular activities while she's holding down a job. Her goal is to attend ASU and become a journalist, and I thought it was particularly touching. She's currently with a single mom, and you can tell the hard work and the good work that she's done, and it's inspired Adriana to want to bring that awareness through journalism for single parents everywhere, and to be a role model for others of what you can do in a single parent home. So with that, I'd like to commend and congratulate Adriana for our Rotary Student of the Month.
That's awesome, exemplary thing. Congratulations to her and her family.
Most definitely. Congratulations.
As part of our recognition, we also wanted to recognize a variety of exemplars. So we have a student exemplar of the year, a staff exemplar of the year, and a parent community member exemplar of the year. Our first that we would like to recognize is Maria Mackler, who is one of our seniors. Her parents are teachers for us, Norma and Paul Mackler. And she is just an amazing young lady. Again, one of those people that brings a smile to your face when you're around her, lots of positive energy, and always wanting to reach out and help other people, very service and people oriented. She is this year's salutatorian. She's a member of National Honor Society and an AP Scholar. She does all of that along with extracurricular work. She's our student body president and student council, has done a lot of work with drama and theater, Key Club, World Travel, Anti-Defamation League, Superintendent's Advisory Council. She's a Cougar ambassador, and she's been involved in a variety of other community and church-related service. Her goal is to attend NAU and major in international studies or international affairs and Spanish. And what's really been touching just recently with all of the craziness that's going on with COVID-19, Maria is looking for ways, along with her student council advisors, to see how we can continue to support our graduates this year, knowing that they're not as connected, not being on campus as much. So she's looking for different ways to use social media and other platforms to help reach out and make sure that seniors know that they're recognized and that we value them. So hats off to Maria Mackler for our Casa Grande Union High School Student of the Year.
Congratulations, Maria. That's great.
We'd also like to recognize a Teacher Staff of the Year as an exemplar. This goes out to Chris Malik. Chris is a former department chair. However, with that, he continues to be a teacher leader, even though he's given up that opportunity for another to learn to serve, and continues to share out as a teacher leader. He's a team builder and constantly is sharing his knowledge with others, whether it's in technology or classroom instruction. He has helped to deliver staff professional development this year and does so informally on the side as well. He is a very positive, solution-oriented gentleman who actively participates in our PLC process and is a member of the Guiding Coalition, as well as a member of our district curriculum cadre. Chris Malik is just a tremendous asset. He is always looking for ways to support our students and to help our staff to deliver instruction the best way possible. So again, kudos to Chris. We appreciate his hard work and efforts as our Staff of the Year.
Those are the best. Congrats to Chris.
Yeah. Congratulations, Chris.
Yes, we thank you. So, for reports and presentations, Dr. Beebe, you wanted to go next? Or, oh, I'm sorry, we have one more. I'm sorry.
That's okay. We'd also like to recognize a Parent Community Member of the Year as our exemplar. Our kudos go out to Robert Romo. He is a parent volunteer, a member or a Booster Club president at this time, and he is focused on truly what it means to be a student athlete, putting students first. He helps frequently in a variety of fundraising events and has increased family involvement not only in the fundraising events but in a variety of different community events that they are doing for our football organization. He's a strong community member. He's an executive at the Arizona Water Company as well as a board member at Casa Grande Rotary. And so we would like to thank Robert Romo as our Parent Community Member of the Year and for his outstanding service and selflessness to our students and staff.
It's truly awesome. You can't do it without him.
Congratulations, Robert.
Thank you.
So, Mrs. Hawkins, with your permission, I'll go ahead and proceed with our presentation for Casa Grande Union, and then Dr. B will follow.
Okay.
So So just to kind of bring you up to date where we're at, I know Dr. Beebe shared out earlier in his meeting with you, but here's what we're doing, not only as a district, but as a site, given our current status with COVID-19. You've heard that online learning opportunities have been extended out to our students. Our staff is reaching out to students. Counselors are making phone calls to their seniors, and we will be reaching out through our 2.5 or Cougar Time teachers to check in with those students who have not already checked in virtually. So that way we're gathering that list this week, and then we'll be making some personal contacts with them as much as technology and phones allow. Our meetings are continuing, as you've heard. Everybody's learning how to run life virtually, so our staff meetings, PLC meetings, and department meetings continue to ensure that we are all on the same page and that we are delivering quality learning opportunities for our students. We are very excited that tech support is available for both staff and students. There is a hotline and an email that they can address to get that service taken care of. And we have a lot of our staff members, front office, security, parapros who are helping out with food services, and picking up and dropping off of student materials is being put in the works to look at a safe way to close out the year. But just a lot of thanks to our staff who have worked tirelessly, put in a lot of different hours to make sure that school in its virtual form is up and running. Obviously, there's still more that we're learning as we go through this process. You can kind of see a picture there on the side that shows some of that virtual learning happening. I believe that's one of our AP Physics classes where they're doing that virtual learning that they're taking place. We know our 2020 graduates have been hit hard by this event, and there's a lot of end of the year senior opportunities that they're missing out on. With that in mind, we are exploring a variety of different things that we can do to try to recognize our graduates. So if you haven't heard, our stadium lights starting tonight should be on at 8:20 for 20 minutes, Monday through Friday from this point through graduation. And that's in recognition that 8:20 is 2020 military time. So just a little recognition that we can show them that our hearts and our minds are with them, and that we wish them success in their future journeys. We are considering various graduation ceremony options, both virtual as well in person, depending on what health safety reviews we can look at. And then we're reviewing other recognitions for seniors, whether it might be some yard plaques or possibly some social media posts. We're reviewing whether or not, actually, one of the things that we are already working with our senior class in their Instagram account is recognizing a senior story, so that seniors are able to share a picture as well as a little bit about their hopes and dreams. We've been working a lot as a district in professional development. Our area of focus this year has been on instructional strategies, curriculum, climate, and culture. We've been accomplishing this with a framework through our PLCs, and we are developing a PBIS and RTI model, along with continued training on HMH, which is our new English Language Arts textbook adoption. We've had continued coaching for our math teachers through Math Solutions, and we're also utilizing our instructional coaches more to work one-on-one with all of our teachers as it's part of that growth mindset and growing model. Some of the specific trainings have included engagement strategies as well as cooperative learning strategies. And then this year we've opened up an online PD opportunity, which is a virtual library through Educational Impact that all teachers have unlimited access to, a library of different digital curriculum that are digital professional development opportunities so that they can guide their self-learning and self-pacing as to what they might need professionally. We are very proud of our staff, both as a district as well as our site, their work through the professional learning community process. We were able to take additional staff members to be trained through PLCs at work, and that continues to get pushed out through the PLC Guiding Coalition. I don't think we would have been up and running as fast as we have been with the online learning modules without that structure in place. So again, hats off to all of the staff for working together and learning how to work collaboratively through the process. We have a variety of AP and college and honors opportunities that include partnerships with Central Arizona College, where students can receive college credit options while they're on high school campus as well as off of high school campus. This year we've also done several campus tours for admin and counselors, as well as we coordinated student tours and campus visits so that students interested can be enrolled and receive the financial help that they need. We offer a variety of AP programs, and this year, just as an FYI, AP, our advanced placement courses, are offering their testing from home due to the COVID-19. So those students who choose to continue on with the AP test, that is being allowed through the College Board from their homes.
How do they do that?
That is a great question. They are working on a platform that they have used before for some certain homebound students, and then they are pushing that out directly to those students. So I don't have all the technical manners, but they are aware of its recourses, and they've assured us that it should fit their needs for AP placement.
Okay, I just remember when our kids were taking AP tests. I mean, talk about on lockdown.
Definitely. We were surprised to hear that as well, but apparently they've been exploring that option and have gotten to a point where they're comfortable with it, using it in this situation.
Okay, thanks.
Definitely. Certainly, we are excited about our academics. You've heard plenty with our Rotary Students of the Month over each month. Many of them are scholar athletes. This year we had an amazing induction ceremony with a large number of students participating in that National Honor Society induction. So we're just very proud of them and their hard work as they continue to move forward. In each of our classes, there's a variety of different programs and options that they're doing. I'm going to highlight just a few. Our English language arts that includes support for reading, English language learners, and obviously the honors and advanced courses with AP and college courses being offered. In each of those cases, we have had additional training and coaching in the new textbook adoption of HMH. We're excited about what that's doing and helping to encourage some more rigor in each of our classes. We have a mixture of science and STEAM activities. You can see a couple of the different pictures of various events. On the left are some of our students in the forensics course learning about how to look at different hair fiber samples and to identify their unique characteristics so that they can match up different suspects to the hair samples or other specimens. In the center, you'll notice that's our STEAM fair as well as our STEAM festival that has occurred out in the park. We certainly are grateful for the mayor and his support, and just some wonderful work by our students in organizing and developing these events and helping to ensure that our students are exposed to great opportunities in science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. On the right, you can see some of our biotech students, and they are actually taking on the process of cleaning out the microscopes. So they were trained. Typically, this has to be sent off for lab work to do, but they were trained on proper strategies and structures on how to clean and maintain just the general maintenance on all of our science microscopes. So that way they were learning a skill that could be utilized in their college classes as well as one that served our current school. So hats off to Mr. K and his students for taking on that service project at our school. The STEAM fair ended with a chariot race. There were two significant entries. One was our construction class versus our engineering students. And here you see a photo of our engineering or our construction champions. That chariot is built out entirely of cardboard and glue. And they had to run a race where it had to endure it and not only had to hold up and survive, but it had to carry a person in it to the finish line. And so hats off. Engineering had a unique design, but it did not hold up as well as our construction chariot this year. So again, congratulations to our construction class.
In theory, it worked though.
It takes working together, right? As you all know, we have a variety of elective options. Here's just a few of them. We offer everything from band, choir, drama, art, yearbook, dance, PE, weight training, health, world languages, ROTC, and CT courses. In each of these, there's a variety of different clubs that students can participate in or other extra or co-curricular activities. Many of them are recognized regionally and state for their excellence in their work. Band in particular has taken first place multiple
years or have been in state qualifying championships. We know that some of their performances, like many others, were cut short with the spring season and COVID-19. But just a huge shout out to the band and to our drum line and all of the other performers in the music arts. Choir is no exception. Remarkable Blue Notes Honors Choir. And then we also have a phenomenal partnership where they've worked with a variety of students with different needs and academic abilities. And they've supported them. It was very touching. We held a special assembly. And during that PEP assembly, those students sang out, and just really neat student response, where each of them stood up and just applauded our choir group with a lot of our special needs students. Amazing young people, and neat to see those partnerships when they come together and perform. Our dance team, like many other groups, have partnered with a variety of other younger groups, and so in this case you can see our dance team working with some younger students from different schools and different age groups. I know that band has done this as well. Various teams have worked with some of those middle school and elementary students. But dance has helped us out with a lot of our PEP assemblies. You can see them out there on the track for one of our football games where they've performed. And then they were also fortunate enough to go to Disneyland and do some learning there and performing as well with Disneyland and their theatrical shows. World languages include both Spanish and Mandarin at the moment. We're excited that they bring in real life experiences and help them connect with the culture of those languages and those people. This year we are exploring a new strategy of total physical response storytelling, or TPRS, that we're excited to help continue those instructional strategies to connect the language with students in Korea. At Casa Grande Union High School, but they are often requested at a variety of community events. We are grateful for their leadership, their dedication, and their service in inspiring students to serve our country. We have a variety of career and technical education programs, everything from culinary. DECA was just recognized for its marketing, engineering, biotech, construction, automotive, and our freshman success class. What's exciting is that each of these programs have again been award-winning. We have a lot of our students who are receiving certification in their industry, so that way they can take it straight out of high school and be put into the work field. So hats off to our students and to our teachers for helping them with that. In fact, I recently just received an update from our autos program that we've had more students than ever before who have made that successful certification take place. A couple quick highlights of these programs. Our FFA, our ag program, just recently, given the COVID-19, has reached out and has provided hundreds of meals to a lot of the different farmers in our area. Knowing that it's kind of a rural area and spread out, they have looked at ways for being able to give back and to share to our community. So we'd like to thank them for being creative in helping out our community in this current epidemic. We also work with CAVIT. They offer several programs that our students access, including some of the ones that we highlighted today with our Rotary Student of the Month, working in the dental assistant program. But they offer cosmetology, dental, fire science, law enforcement, massage therapy, medical assistant nursing, and veterinary. Again, counseling and admin has done several tours, as well as we've reached out in a variety of ways to help our students access those programs and understand more about how they can be involved, so we can increase numbers and participate. We have worked just like VISTA with our PBIS program. Our acronym Cougar Pride stands for persistence, respectful, involved, disciplined, and students striving for excellence. We've kicked it off this year with a variety of assemblies working on our culture, including a focus on believing in you, a program Not My Kid, which focused on substance abuse, Rachel's Challenge, which invited our students to look for ways to be kind to one another, and looking for different ways to be proactive in serving. As well as we focused this year on motivation with a focus on growth mindset, as well as those student-led PEP assemblies that are student-sponsored from Student Council. Our student life has been exceptional. Student Council has been very spirited. We have started working towards student voices and pizza with the principal. These are ways that I get a chance to hear our student voices, give them a chance for some leadership, and for them to have input into the governing process in the school. We've been very excited for the leadership that Student Council has taken in organizing and leading their assemblies, as well as the success with several of their dances. Our library is often filled with students at a variety of hours of the day, before school, lunch, and after school, as well as during different class times. Our librarian has been great at creating different ways to encourage our students. In fact, during this current situation, there are virtual book groups where students can sign in virtually and share their reading with a group on Zoom or other multimedia platforms. We are working together with Vista to do that. We've also organized a maker space where students are encouraged to come into the library. You see one student there working on a small robotic simulation where they learn coding. We also have 3D printers. We have a variety of art projects and crafts that they can do. But it's basically a place where students come and are able to be creative without having to have specific direction from a staff member. They are allowed to explore and create on their own in a variety of different formats. Finally, as we get ready to close out, we have a number of athletic and extracurricular activities. Each of our programs are award-winning with several state champions throughout the years. We truly believe we have something for everyone. We encourage our students to be active and involved. We know that the more involved everybody is, the more successful they tend to be. That includes our athletics, our co-curricular CTE clubs, clubs like National Honor Society, our service organizations like Key Club, robotics, and so many others. One club in particular that I don't think we always know about is our Amarin Club. We have a large number of Native American students that sometimes are underrepresented. And so a huge shout out to Gene Manuel and others on our campus who have done a great job in helping them feel connected and to make sure that those students have the resources they need to be successful. You can always check us out and learn more on our website or like us on Facebook or at Twitter. We encourage you to follow us to learn more about what our students are doing every day. And finally, a huge congratulations to the class of 2020. We love you, we miss you, we wish we could be with you. And with that, I will close unless there's any questions.
Ryan, one question, especially with the Amarin Club right there at the end, what kind of relationship do you have with the Gila River community and some of the other communities as far as, you know, just kind of fostering a relationship and of what all the school does and what we can do for those folks?
Definitely. We're always looking for different ways to reach out. We were blessed this year to be able to go and be introduced to one of their governing bodies over education. So we went as a district leadership team. So Dr. Beebe was present with us. I know Ms. Cole was there and myself and a few others from district, where we were able to introduce ourselves, let them know that we were there to help support and service them. We work with different representatives. I mentioned Gene. We have a couple others on our campus that we work with to help connect students to different resources. Recently, I was able to reach out and we were concerned about possible lack of internet access on the reservation. And I was assured that the tribe has actually been very forward-thinking and have worked hard to ensure a lot of new access points for families, and was told that there were very few students that might not have internet on the reservation, or at least that was the individual reporting for his caseload. So I'm waiting to hear back from a few others, but those are the types of partnerships that we do. The pictures you see here are about a pageant that we hosted, and then unfortunately with some illness that occurred, and now with the COVID-19, we were not able to host the powwow. But a lot of it's looking for cultural connections for our students. We we were looking at some different talent show opportunities where they could share some of their culture with different student groups and reaching out. But those are just some of the things that we've done.
Okay, so you got a direct relationship with, is it Governor Lewis of the Gila River Tribe, and I'm not sure who's down south, but I had run into Governor Lewis one time, and he mentioned wanting to make sure that, I mean, Casa Grande has a pretty large population, but I think Coolidge has an even larger population that they service over there.
Yeah, I think direct is relative. We have a direct through their channels of leadership. So it might not be direct with him, but it's directly through those channels of leadership. And certainly we welcome their participation at any time, whether it's to tour our school or to meet with them and talk about specific concerns. That's been extended multiple times.
That's great. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Principal Mab, I want to just thank you for working so well with all of our groups of students at Casa Grande Union and doing a great job this year. I think you've done everything we've asked you to do. One question I'd like to ask you, kind of in line with what Member Hennis was talking about, looking forward towards our graduation, the one Native American event that we hold on graduation week. I'm not sure what the name of it is, but looking forward, what is the status of that? How does that look going forward? Has any thought been given on that?
Mr. Wright, thank you for your kudos. As you know, everything right now is kind of on hold, so there's lots of thoughts that we're giving to what could we do if certain restrictions are lifted. But we're really waiting to hear from our different professionals in the health world to tell us when it's safe to do that. It may be postponed, it may be a summer activity, or it may just be canceled and have to wait till next year. That'll depend on when we get released to have less social distancing and different availability of different people to host those events.
You bet. Thanks.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much. I hope a lot of people saw that presentation. It was great.
Well, thank you for inviting me. Don't forget, I was asked to remind you when I close this out to make sure that you also know to hide your stage so the audience can see you.
Thank you for your leadership this year, Brian.
Thank you.
Okay. So now, for the superintendent's report.
Well, President Hawkins, members of the governing board, it's always my pleasure to give you a report this year. It's going to be a little different than it has been in the past, since I don't have a whole lot of things that the kids have been doing to brag about. But I'd like to first start by thanking our district administrators, our school leadership teams, department chairs, curriculum cadre, and our teaching staff for all of their efforts to make this transition to online learning environment that we're in now. Like we've talked about all night, there's been a lot of people working very hard, a lot of hours, a lot of time and effort to make this happen, and I couldn't be prouder of the work that we're doing and how well it's going. I also want to say a shout out to our support staff and their efforts. We had a situation with our food service department being understaffed, and I had district directors, specifically, Gina Salazar, Marianne Amerson, Sean Casey, Steve Sipes stepped up. We had a number of paraprofessionals and people who went and stepped up and actually created meals for our kids so we didn't miss a beat, making sure we were feeding our students. And so thank you to all of them who have done that. And really, as a superintendent, I'm just very blessed to be a part of such a great district with people who take the time to put students first and to make sure that our families and our students are our highest priority. So there's no doubt we're going to have some bumps along the way as we're making this transition, but I am confident that we will be able to meet our students' educational needs to help all of our students be able to close out the 2019-20 school year successfully as we should. I also want to say to our parents and students who may be watching tonight, thank you for your patience and support as we transition to this new online environment of learning that we're now in. I'd like to encourage all of you to reach out to teachers and staff as your needs arise, and we will do our best to get back to everyone in a timely manner. And I know there are many questions about seniors, graduation, school equipment, and personal belongings that are still at the schools. So please understand that we're following all federal and state guidelines for social distancing, and we're doing our part to keep our district and everybody in our district safe. We're currently working on details now for potential graduation ceremonies for our seniors, and we are also starting to plan for our students and their needs to get back into school campuses at some time to drop off items or to collect their own personal belongings. So as soon as we are given guidelines from our president and from our governor, we'll be able to communicate those plans to you as soon as we possibly can. So again, thank you for your patience and support as we make this transition. And finally, I would just like to offer my condolences to the family of former Casa Grande Union High School District Superintendent Mr. Al Nader, who passed away on Sunday. I had the privilege of getting to know Al over the last couple of years. He was an active member of the Casa Grande community and the educational community for many years. He's a long-standing member of Kiwanis Club of Casa Grande, and has been involved in initiatives over the years that improve the quality of educational opportunities for our students and our community, and he will be greatly missed. So our condolences to his family. And that concludes my report.
Okay, so that brings us down to 5, matters reserved for board action, and 5A, and that would be recommend to approve the 2021 meet and confer recommendation and salary schedules as presented.
So moved. Second.
Discussion?
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
Ennis,
Yes.
and Ms. Hawkins.
Yes. Item 5B, recommend to approve the 2021 Casa Grande Health and Welfare Benefits as presented.
I'll move to approve that. I will second that.
Discussion?
And Dr. Beebe, this was, everybody, this was their favorite choice or the preferred choice that came out of IBM.
Thank you. I didn't realize I muted myself. No, this was the preferred choice for both classified and certified. We believe that this is the best insurance for our employees at this time.
Okay. I'll call for the question.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Ennis,
Yes.
and Ms. Hawkins.
Yes.
I just want to say thank you to all the people involved with IBM this year, the staff on both sides, on all sides, working towards to make this, this interesting times, to make everything come together in a positive fashion, and look forward to what's going to come this year and the challenge that may or may not be coming this coming year.
For sure. 5C, move to approve the 2021 Data Processing Services Program agreement with the Office of the Pinal County Superintendent as presented.
I'll move.
Second.
Discussion?
This is an annual kind of thing, isn't it? Did you do this? We have this. We've been doing this for quite a few years now, where they handle all the business side of this.
Correct. And we have to bring this to you annually.
Okay. That was my only question. Call for the question.
Mr. Lopez,
Yes.
Mr. Wright,
Yes.
Mr. Ennis,
Yes.
and Ms. Hawkins.
Yes. 5D, move to approve the amendment at number 5 to the transportation agreement with Durham School Services as presented.
So moved.
Second.
Discussion?
Yeah, just a question. Is this under the same auspices of the current agreement that if for some reason school were to open later, it would be prorated? Or I'm just asking because obviously you're running into a situation right now where not a third, but at least a couple of months of school are coming off the books. How does that translate potentially into the coming year?
Well, I'll give you so we of course, when this came down, we saw our legal counsel and Rob Haas, and basically what has happened, because we have an outside vendor. They're not our employees. We have an outside vendor who's providing transportation services. Because they are not doing any transportation from the time we shut down, through the end of the school year, we are only obligated to pay them 50% of the remaining balance that we would have owed them as part of our contract. So yes, I believe that if school was to not start back up on time and we were to not need transportation, I think we could expect something similar as we start off the school year. But again, we would go back to our legal counsel to be sure.
Okay, that was my other question. Thank you. Call for the question.
Sorry, I was muted. Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Ennis?
Yes.
And Ms. Hawkins?
Yes. Okay, donations. Move to accept the following donations: $2,500 from Palm Creek Choirs to Vista Grand Band Club, and $1,500 from Kiwanis to Cast Grand Track. Those are nice donations.
Wow, some big time donations. Yeah, I'll move.
Second.
Discussion, besides a big thank you.
Just what you said.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Ennis?
Yes.
Ms. Hawkins?
Yes. Okay, and 5F, move to approve, to accept the following board informational reports as presented.
So moved.
I would second that.
Discussion.
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Ennis?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
And Ms. Hawkins?
Yes. Okay, the consent agenda is there, it's items A through F. Is there anything anybody wants removed for discussion?
No, I don't think so. But I would like to recognize Mr. Hardy for deciding to come back and join us for the coming year. I think we really could use his services.
Okay. So move to approve the consent agenda, items A through F,
So moved.
presented.
I will second that.
Discussion? Oh, I guess no, we have it, okay. Vote?
Mr. Wright?
Yes.
Mr. Lopez?
Yes.
Mr. Ennis?
Yes.
And Ms. Hawkins?
Yes. There's no informational only items, so board items, any future agenda items anybody wants brought forth?
I just think, obviously, as things are rolled out by the governor, we kind of get a feel for what's going to, I know that Dr. Beebe, you're going to be keeping us well abreast of this, but the tax situation and different things that are going on right now are going to make planning for this coming year potentially very interesting.
It is, and like I said, I do plan on in the May board meeting bringing any financial expenditures that I might recommend to you so that we can plan ahead. And again, yes, we're going to definitely have to plan for a rainy day moving forward because we have too many unknowns.
Move to adjourn.
I'll move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Aye. Everybody be careful and be safe. Thank you.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Good night, be safe.
Good night, John Boy.
Bye-bye.